Fear, it is invisible, yet it controls billions. It is silent, yet it screams inside every human mind. Fear is the most dangerous enemy you'll ever face. Not because it lives outside of you, but because it lives within you. You see, fear has destroyed more dreams than failure ever could. It has silenced more voices than critics ever did. It has stopped more people from trying, from loving, from believing, than any external force in history. Fear doesn't need chains to hold you back, it just needs your permission. Every single human being carries fear. Fear of rejection, fear of loss, fear of the unknown, fear of not being enough. And the truth is, you can't escape fear completely. But you can learn to master it. You can learn to stand face to face with it and say, "You daren't control me anymore." Fear is the greatest enemy of human progress because it feeds on your imagination. It paints your future in worst-case scenarios. It tells you stories of failure before you even begin. It whispers, "What if it doesn't work?" but never lets you ask, "What if it does?" There's a story about a man standing at the edge of a cliff. Behind him is everything familiar: comfort, safety, predictability. Ahead of him is fog, uncertainty, and potential. The man hesitates. His heart beats faster. His mind races with doubt, and fear tells him to step back, to stay where he is, but deep down, his soul whispers, "Jump." Because only by jumping can he learn to fly. That's how fear works. It's the gatekeeper between who you are and who you could become. It's the final test before transformation. And most people, sadly, never pass that test. Not because they can't, but because they won't. The tragedy of life isn't that people die. It's that they die before they truly live. Fear buries potential. It kills creativity. It cages your voice. It makes you settle for mediocrity while convincing you that safety is peace. But safety without growth isn't peace, it's quiet suffocation. Fear makes you trade your passion for a paycheck, your purpose for approval, your dreams for doubt. It makes you overthink, overanalyze, and underestimate yourself. You call it being realistic, but in truth, it's fear wearing a mask. The greatest mistake humanity makes is believing fear is a sign to stop. But fear isn't a wall, it's a signal. A signal that you're standing at the border of growth. If it scares you, it's probably worth doing. Think about it, every invention, every success story, every breakthrough in history came from someone who felt fear, but moved anyway. Thomas Edison failed 1,000 times before creating the light bulb. Imagine if he stopped after failure number 10 or 100. The world would still be in darkness. Rosa Parks was afraid when she refused to give up her seat, but she did it anyway, and that courage sparked a revolution. Even the greatest athletes and leaders, they all feel fear. But they don't let fear make their decisions. They use it as fuel. Because fear and courage are born in the same place. The only difference is what you do next. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's moving despite it. It's standing in the storm and saying, "I may shake, but I won't break." You see, the problem isn't fear itself. The problem is the story you attach to it. You can tell yourself fear means danger, or you can tell yourself fear means discovery. You can see fear as a threat or as a teacher. Because every time you face it, you grow stronger, wiser, freer. The truth is, fear will never disappear. It's part of being human. But it can either be your prison guard or your greatest motivator. When you're afraid to start something, start anyway. When you're afraid to fail, fail anyway. When you're afraid of being judged, speak anyway. Because what's worse than failing is never knowing what could have been. You can recover from failure. You can rebuild from rejection. But you can't heal from regret. Regret is the ghost that visits you when fear wins. The people who make history are not fearless. They readjust, unwilling to let fear decide their destiny. They've learned that the scariest step is always the first one. But once you take it, everything changes. You realize the monster you were running from was just your own shadow. Look back on your life for a second. How many things have you missed because of fear? How many chances did you avoid? How many words did you hold back? How many times did you stop yourself from saying, "I love you," or "I can do this," or "I'm ready"? Fear doesn't stop the future from happening. It only stops you from living it. And here's something powerful. Fear and faith both require belief in something that hasn't happened yet. The only difference is what you choose to believe in. Fear believes in failure. Faith believes in possibility. So, the next time fear shows up, don't run. Recognize it. Talk to it. Thank it for trying to protect you. But then tell it, "I don't need protection. I need progress." You see, the human spirit was not designed to live in fear. We were built to explore, to dream, to build, to love, to risk. Every breakthrough you've ever had, personal, emotional, or professional, came after fear. Fear always comes first. Freedom comes after. The most powerful people on earth are not the ones without fear. They are the ones who learned how to use fear as a compass. When something scares them, they know it's pointing toward growth. Because if you only do what's comfortable, you'll never discover what's possible. Fear says, "What if you fall?" Faith whispers, "What if you fly?" And that's where transformation happens. When you stop letting fear dictate your story. When you start realizing that life begins at the edge of fear. There's a quote that says, "Everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear." And it's true. The love you want, the success you dream of, the peace you crave, it's all waiting. But you have to walk through the fire of fear to reach it. That fear of failure, it's there to make you prepared. That fear of judgment, it's there to teach you to stand tall. That fear of the unknown, it's there to remind you that uncertainty is where miracles are born. Fear will always knock on your door, but you get to choose whether it stays for dinner or walks away. So the next time fear visits you, don't see it as an enemy. See it as an invitation. An invitation to rise higher, to step into your next chapter, to meet the version of yourself that fear tried to hide. Because once you overcome your fear, you don't just conquer the moment, you change your identity. You become someone unstoppable. Every day, remind yourself, fear is not real, it's a story. And stories can be rewritten. Rewrite yours. Face your fears. Live your truth. And show the world what happens when courage wins. Because when fear dies, freedom is born. And freedom, that's what being human is all about. If this message moved you, if it lit even a small spark inside you, hold on to it. Don't let fear win another day. You're stronger than your doubts, bigger than your fears, and closer to your destiny than you think. This is Motiversity of Success, where minds are awakened, hearts are ignited, and souls are reminded of their power. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because every time you do, you're not just supporting a channel. You're joining a movement of fearless believers.